Another young black man is dead in the U.S. at the hands of police. Now, Atlanta, Georgia's police chief has resigned as a result, and the mayor has called for the officer involved to be fired. Area residents have converged on the scene of the incident to protest the Friday night shooting death of 27-year-old Rayshard Brooks. Atlanta police say he was asleep in his car, blocking a fast food drive-through lane. He's said to have resisted arrest after failing a sobriety test. Now, security footage then shows Brooks running away with the officer's stun gun and possibly pointing it back at them when police opened fire and killed him with an estimated 3 shots. The incident comes amid widespread protest over police brutality and systematic racism.
There were scenes of violence in central London today after demonstrators clashed with police in a day of unrest condemned by the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary. Groups, including some far-right activists, had gathered in the capital, saying they were protecting statues from anti-racism protesters. Violence erupted and officers were attacked with bottles, smoke grenades and flares. 6 police officers were injured and more than 100 people arrested. Well, Boris Johnson described it as racist thuggery and said that individuals attacking the police would be met with the full force of the law.
There had been some peaceful protesting. But it wasn't long before this started. Throughout the day, the police have been repeatedly attacked.
The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade is providing consular assistance to an Australian citizen sentenced to death in China. Cam Gillespie is accused of drug smuggling offences. Local Chinese media reports the verdict was handed down at Wanhou Intermediate People's Court on the 10th of June. The man was arrested in 2013 after custom officers at Wanhou International Airport discovered more than 7.5 kilograms of methamphetamine in his possession. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade says we are deeply saddened to hear of the verdict made in his case. Australia opposes the death penalty in all circumstances for all people. We support the universal abolition of the death penalty and are committed to pursuing this goal. Know all the avenues available to us.
Volcanic eruption in Ecuador has left several cities covered in ash. The Sangay volcano erupted in the Amazon region. The volcano was seen spewing hot lava. The volcano has had moderate eruptions for over a year. However, the volcano had little impact because of its remote location, but a recent change in wind pattern has pushed ash towards the coast and affected areas including the largest city around it, which is Guaqui. The Guayaquil airport halted flights to clean the runway and authorities began clearing ash from public spaces to avert potential respiratory problems. These roads were closed to traffic in some parts of the provinces.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition, liftoff of Falcon 9 and Starlink 8.
The federal government is set to announce new plans to prevent fuel shortages and keep more in Australia. It comes at a time when the coronavirus pandemic and international conflict has increased concerns over just how much backup fuel we actually have.
It keeps the cars on the road and planes in the sky. But Australia has a fuel problem.
There are scenarios, there are circumstances where it can get tough.
Those scenarios are cut supply chains or global conflicts like in the Middle East, where we access most of our fuel. With 56 days of supply on shore and another 19 overseas, the government is trying to buy fuel to store it 12,000 kilometres away in the US.
This was the moment Canadian police arrested a prominent Indigenous leader. While one officer tries to grab Chief Alan Adam, a second rushes in and tackles him. Once on the ground, Adam is punched in the face as his wife and niece plead with officers to stop. On Friday, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau demanded an inquiry. Police dashcam footage shows Adam being questioned about an expired license plate outside a casino early on March 10th. Chief Adam accused the officer of harassing him and his wife. The 12-minute video shows him swearing at the officer and taking a fighting stance before being jump-tackled to the ground. Adam released this photo after being released from police custody.
Amid a surging death toll, Chile's health minister has tendered his resignation from the government. Dr. Manelich is a kidney specialist who once ran one of Chile's top hospitals, but his handling of the pandemic has been fiercely criticised by opposition parties. So far, over 3,000 Chileans have died from the virus, and critics of the government say the country should have gone into lockdown much sooner. The capital, Santiago, has been under quarantine for a month now, but despite this, the death toll and infection rate continue to hit new daily highs. And now another doctor, Enrique Paris, has been asked to lead the government's response to the COVID-19 crisis.
Indian Navy repaired a Philippines Navy ship which was damaged due to fire. The Philippines Navy has sent its sincere thanks to the Indian Navy for its invaluable assistance. A fire broke out in engine room in which two Philippines Navy personnel were injured. These two officials suffered second-degree burns. The Indian Navy ship not only repaired the ship free of cost, but also took care of both the injured personnel. The Filipino Navy personnel were rushed to the INHS Sanjeevani Naval Hospital in Kochi for treatment. The Philippines Navy Chief, Rear Admiral Giovanni Carlo J. Bacordo, in a letter to India's Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh, said, and I quote here, "Your support in this unfortunate accident is way beyond our expectations, and it is a testament of your sincerity."
Thai border officials intercept a shipment of live pangolins and several bags of scales coming across the border from Malaysia. Seizures like this have become commonplace across Southeast Asia due to the huge demand for the endangered anteater. Prized for both its flesh, which is eaten, and its scales, which are used in Chinese medicine, the pangolin has been hunted almost out of existence in its native habitats. The ban on sales of pangolin scales should provide some respite for a creature on the edge of extinction.